phones turned down. This is the open portion of the meeting. If y'all would state your name and address for the record, please. Coach?
Thank you, Deputy Wilson. We appreciate you. If y'all would, let's all rise. I've asked Commissioner Rowland if he would to give the invocation this evening, and then we'll have the pledge.
Father, we thank you again for a beautiful day that we've had, glorious day that we can enjoy the bounty that you give us here on this earth. Lord, we ask you today that we discuss the business of this county and do the things that are best for all of the citizens of Monroe County. We ask these things in Jesus' name.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. County Clerk, could you give us a roll call, please?
Chairman Tapley,
I'm here.
Commissioner Ambrose,
I'm here.
Commissioner Evans, Commissioner Rowland.
Here.
Commissioner Mommy downstairs finishing up the internet.
Internet meeting, and so we'll make that note. We do have a quorum. I think if we have it, I do have a question for our attorney. If we do have a tie on any of the votes, can we pull Commissioner Mommy up here to vote, or can he vote if he hasn't been in one of the rest of the meeting?
He can vote as long as he's present for the vote.
Okay, that's right. So he could just walk in and vote and walk back out. So just in case, because I thought about that as a logistics or technicality. All right, that's fine. Thank you very much for that. This time, having a quorum, I'll call this meeting of the Monroe County Board of Commissioners to order. First item on the agenda of our regular meeting is to approve the agenda. And so I have what's the pleasure of the board?
I'll make approval with a change on it.
Okay, what's your change?
I think number G has been removed. Is that correct? Been deferred.
Been deferred. Okay. All right, so we're after removing G. Any other changes, corrections? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion. We've got a motion to approve with that change. Got a second from Commissioner Rowland. Any discussion?
Yeah, discussion. We've been leaving off old business and new business for a few months now. Is there any reason?
I don't remember new business or old business being on it since I've been here.
All of 17, you leave
I
17.
was. I mean, so if it was, I'd need to check.
Yeah. Normally it's been on there forever. And it normally comes in before you get into the business. I don't remember us taking on. Can you interview? And then prior to the public comment, the commissioners, if they have anything at that point, normally that's where it would go. And that's the way it's been going on here for all the years. I'd like to see that be on. We got the public comment, that's okay.
Do you want those changes to be made tonight?
Yeah.
You'd like new business and old business to be on there this evening? You want that before or after public comments?
Yeah, it would normally come after we get, before we get into the regular meeting. It's been there forever, I think.
Before we get in, new and old business comes before the regular meeting?
Old business.
Old business would typically go to new business,
Right.
Pull that.
Yeah. And that's down.
but I don't know.
Okay. All right.
I don't know.
This is first I've heard of it, so I mean, what we've got is a motion and a second to approve this agenda. So, I'll vote with Larry. I mean,
Henceforth, after this, that'd be fine if you got a problem with it.
But I think we can discuss this with us and county manager, have it on the next meeting. Have it however you want it organized. We can put new business, old business in. What was the other one you?
But if you look back, you were here in all 17.
Commissioner's comments.
Yeah, I got the book on 17.
Okay.
Drink.
Okay,
You were here in all 17.
that's right. I was on stage. Okay, so right now we're going to approve this agenda without new business, old business on it. Okay. Call the question. All in favor? Okay. This agenda is passed. Next item is to approve the minutes. All the minutes have been submitted June 4th, June 13th, June 18th. What's the pleasure of the board on this?
See, right on
We'll remind this because we'll make sure. I just want to make sure what we want to move here.
I wasn't here for the last.
I was here, I make a motion to approve the one clause to change it.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Ambrose, do I have a second? Second, Commissioner Evans, any discussion?
Yeah, on the minutes on June 4th, on page 4, up there in that second paragraph, where Commissioner Evans stated he would like to address use of government vehicles. Ranch on the tablet stated that this was not added to the agenda and went on. And the Commissioner Evans continued with the county policy has always been to not take county vehicles out of the county. I stated thereafter that had been the standard, and that County Manager Hedges was driving the county vehicle to and from Ashland, Georgia, and that Ashland was 103 miles from here. The round trip, it was 206 miles. That stated that was the biggest thing, and I also mentioned that no county clerk or administrator had ever, since I could have been going all the way back to Dick Davis and Curtis and Gail, no one ever took a car. So please note that in there, that's all I got.
Okay. That it? Anything else? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Any opposed?
I wasn't here.
Oh, I got you. Because it's 3 and you're abstaining but not, okay, so you got that. Yeah. All right, next item on the agenda is tab C is the River Edge Board appointment. We have it's our duty to appoint River Edge Board members. And
I move, Mr. Chairman, we reappoint Ms. Rosamond McMillan.
Okay.
Been on board, she's a medical
Yes.
professional and highly literate and young health.
I have a motion based on the recommendation and your own personal recommendation to reappoint Ms. Rosamond McMillan to the Board of Directors of River Edge. Got that motion, do I have a second? That second, Commissioner Rowland, any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? All right. Ms. McMillan, you want to let, I'm assuming county manager will let them know, Larry, you want to let her know, that'd be fine. All right, next item on the agenda is Mr. Curtis Reynolds, landfill concrete stockpiles. Curtis, why don't you come up, got a quick presentation for us?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Good evening. If you recall, a few months ago, earlier this year, we presented our proposal for the landfill update, redesign, 5-year permit review, and we've been working on that. And we've come to a point where we need some input from the commissioners in how to handle this one situation out here. And this situation is the concrete stockpile. I'll go through.
You need her, get the button
Turned on, good for you.
Yeah.
Great. So we'll go over just a brief overview of the site. For those not familiar, look at the concrete stockpile in question, what it consists of, approximate volume of the area, such as that. Present a few potential solutions, along with our engineer's opinion of cost. Make a recommendation, and then be available to answer any questions. Next. All right. So this is an aerial view. A few years ago, the landfill, the phases pointed out here. You've got phase 1 here, 2 here. We're currently filling in phase 1. And next slide. Next. Here's the concrete stockpile in question. This concrete stockpile is estimated between 80 and 100,000 cubic yards. It was stockpiled on site by the contractor who replaced or repaved I-75 in 2007 and 8 timeframe, I believe. There was a settlement reached with the county, between the county and this contractor back in 2017. And EPD did note in their last inspection that the concrete stored in the cell has not been removed. The reason it's now a bigger concern is, one, we're doing the redesign. 2, the site has been filled up and around the stockpile. There's limited area to go in the northeast corner of the site, but in the redesign, we need a little direction as to how to take care of that. Next slide. All right, so as I mentioned, they're filling in phase one here, filling in this area. This was earlier this year. You see the concrete stockpile is very close. Next.
Okay.
So, yeah. And so part of the reason of our concern, in addition to the permitting and such, is the condition. You can see the west side of the stockpile here is at some sheer slopes on it, where gradings occurred and erosions happened next to it, posing some potentially safety concerns there if you're anywhere near it. Plus the top of the stockpile is very irregular. There's little data about how deep it truly is. There was an old borrow pit for clay when they were building cells. They dug it out, it was open, it was there, concrete stockpile there. Some was placed in, kind of stacked neatly, others were just kind of thrown in there, as you can see in the picture there in the bottom right. Next slide. And so here are the potential solutions. We've got three right now. One is to move the concrete to the approved inert waste area, which is on site, already approved by UBD. Second, to recover the concrete as aggregate or road base or erosion control rock riprap. Third is to cover and stabilize the slopes as a construction and demolition landfill in the middle of the municipal solid waste landfill. And now I'll present kind of benefits of each. Next. So back in May 2015, we requested bids, and when we bid out the last sale, for the contractor to move the concrete from the current concrete stockpile to the inert waste disposal area, 1,000, 1,200 feet linear distance to move that concrete. The bids range from $609,000 to $699,500. Next slide. Secondly, after that, we pursued other options. Tried a few different contractors to come in and grind it up, take it off. There was it was not then, and we've not been able to find a contractor to grind it and take it off for free. So the quote we got in August 2016, this was just a proposal, it was not a bid, was anywhere from $4.75 per yard to just crush the material and not screen it, up to $5.50 per yard to crush and screen the material into 57 stone, 34 stone, and fines. To give you kind of a comparison here, that $5.50 a cubic yard divided by the average density of 57 stone or GAB of 1.4 tons per cubic yard would result in a cost for that GAB 57 stone fines. That the cost for the rock material at the end would be about $3.93 a ton. That can be compared to the current per ton cost the county's paying for GAB, which is $13.30 a ton. And so you can see there's a potential for savings using this material, recovering it for use as road base and such as that. Now, I will admit there are some concerns with the angular nature of the concrete after crushing it. However, we do feel that if it's crushed, it could be used as road base. There are other potentials out there to for a cost, grind this material up and haul it off-site, say down in Florida, for instance, by rail, where they could use it down there for concrete, for paving, and such as that. Next slide. And the third option was to cover and stabilize the slopes of the concrete pile in place, making a C&D landfill. This would be the cheapest option. However, you would lose an amount of volume from your municipal solid waste landfill. Plus, there's some concerns regarding the foundation of the concrete and how it would react. There are some unknowns with this project. With an estimated 25,000 to 40,000 yards of dirt moving, it costs between $75,000 and $200,000. As mentioned before, I just wanted to emphasize again, any volume of permitted landfill that's not used for municipal solid waste, you do not get the tipping fee, only the revenue, and you lose some of the volume, and therefore some of the life of the site. Now, you can maximize that to the best possible by putting more C&D, construction demolition waste in that area, but there will be some loss, anywhere from 10 to 25% loss in the life of the site. Next slide. And so, coming down to our recommendation, based on our evaluation of previous bids and proposals, and this one sets down. So, based on our evaluation of previous bids, proposals, and current costs of stone road base, it's our professional opinion and recommendation that the county seek updated bids and proposals for crushing the concrete and degraded aggregate base material to be used as road base, paving projects, or other erosion and sedimentation control projects, be it at the landfill or around the county. The crushed material may be stockpiled in place at the landfill, used for the road department, or other county uses there. Based on potential savings, you could see upwards of $500,000 in savings when you include the cost of the project plus the savings on rock road base. And so with that, next slide, and ask if there's any questions regarding this.
I got one question about, I'm assuming there's a mobile unit that comes in and crushes the concrete up.
Right, that would be the type of unit the contractor would bring in.
So, based on that information, on that assumption, is it one of those things where if they come in, they're gonna wanna do it all at one time? Or could we talk to them about coming, in once a year, once every 2 years, however, then do portions of it at a time?
That can be negotiated in the contract, I believe. The more you have them come in, the more mobilization, demobilization costs, of course, there's kind of a scale there. But that would be feasible considering the amount of concrete in place. And as we start getting into it, digging it up, we may find that there's less or more there. Really don't know.
And the other part of that too is that you've got the initial cost of grinding it, either as a whole or in portions, doesn't matter, either one. You've got potential savings, but until we actually use them, we don't realize the savings. So we've got an actual cost out of pocket.
Right.
What was that cost? A few $100,000?
That's $500,000.
$500,000 is the upfront.
Is upfront cost, correct.
Then we save $1 million.
Right.
Well, we save $1 million, so we net a saving half $500,000. Go ahead, John.
Where it's stockpiled now, is that one of the locations for future sale?
Yes, sir, it is. It is in approximately the middle of the landfill, which is why it's posing so much of concern, or why you lose so much volume. If it was on the end, it would be easier just to cover it up and not have to deal with it.
I was here in 17, but I ain't far remember the settlement we had with that contractor.
$50,000.
How much?
50.
Why in the world did we take that stuff? Jeez.
Contractor was bankrupt, wasn't
That was state material, like we should never let state put that stuff in there. But now we can sell that after we crush it, just like Vulcan, right?
Right. Like I said, there is some thoughts about that material being not as good a material as rock from quarry.
Because that's concrete, yeah, I
Right.
know that.
But it is possible to be used, it has other uses, be it road base and erosion control as mentioned and such. But the reason it's coming up now in the 5-year permit review is we've got to either design around it as a landfill staying in place and reduce the volume of the site, or design as if it's moved, and that be the plan, and that be what we communicate with you.
But right now, if our decision is to move forward, we're just saying, hey, we're going to sit still and get bids on what current bids to crush it.
Right, and the first step would be we complete the plans for, as if the concrete is gone.
Okay.
And EPD's most likely going to have a comment as what kind of time frame are you going to get this moved or handled? being that it's been there 10+ years now.
Okay. What's the pleasure of the board?
I'd say those options, I wouldn't go with option 3 to cover it up, and I wouldn't go for that option moving it. I'd say we'd have to go with the option of crushing it.
Okay.
It's going to cost us down the road if we don't.
Yeah, take bids and
Yeah,
see
but-
can you do it in stages or what Greg was saying. I was thinking along those same lines.
Question?
Yes, who's gonna be responsible for removing the steel that's in that concrete and all? Y'all wind up doing that too?
So that, I'm assuming that this contractor would, he knows that the steel's in, he knows the rebar's all in that
Yeah,
concrete.
so you can see it in some of the pictures there, yes.
Uh-huh, yeah.
The contractor, the shredder that comes in has magnets on it, so as it crushes it, it pulls the steel out with the magnets.
What happens to the steel? They take the steel or y'all resell it or what?
Unless otherwise stated in the contract, the contractor may take the steel and sell it for his benefit.
You got a motion?
Yeah.
You got a second, Commissioner Ambrose. Any discussion on it? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? All right, motion passes.
For
Thank
the
you.
record, the commission did not know that concrete was being placed in the lower management facility. We didn't find out about it. We will put that in the record. Some of us visited out there and saw it.
Yes.
And like I said, the contractors went upside down.
Fine, sir. Thank you. All right, the next item on the agenda is the intergovernmental agreement between the Board of Education and Solid and us about solid waste. County manager.
Presented this at our last meeting, and I was asked to go back and relook at the numbers, contact Dana, and that's what I've done. The cost components have included gasoline, salary of our workers, the disposal cost. I was asked to add depreciation, and I threw in supervision. The numbers I'm going to show you are based on actual numbers. Copies of all of that are in your documentation. We made 106 trips in the calendar year. It's 10 miles, so 1,060 miles. Our equipment gets 9 miles to the gallon, so during the year, almost 118 gallons. Diesel, I pull the average price for the year, $3.18, so our consumption of gasoline was $375 for the year. Salary and benefits for our employee works out to be a little over $30 an hour. He spends 3 hours per week. It's $90.18 a week in cost. The annual cost, $4,689. The documentation shows we collected 412 tons. We charged $35 a ton, $14,420. The depreciation would be on the 2012 Mack roll-off. That piece of equipment is fully depreciated. However, a new vehicle is a little over $75,000. Per the Georgia Accounting Code, that has a depreciable life of 7 years. So the annual depreciation would be $10,718. That works out to be $206 a week, or $5.15 an hour. Showed you we use that machine 3 hours a week. For 52 weeks, that's $803.91. Our supervisor, salary and benefits annually is $67,500. In questioning her, she believes that around 5% of her time is spent supervising, setting of schedules, so that works out to the annual allocation for her salary and benefits, $3,375. To summarize it, we come down, gasoline, salary, disposal, depreciation is $20,287. You throw in supervision, you're now at $23,662. Would be my recommendation for year one, we round that to 23,700, add 3% a year, increase cost. Year two would be 24,400, year three, 25,100. Mr. Chairman?
What's the pleasure of the board?
Have you discussed this with the board? They don't know anything about it yet? Board of Education?
They are aware that the previous recommendation had been rejected and that I would be going back to the Board of Commissioners with a new recommendation. They acknowledged that it would be presented again to them.
And remind us, what were the numbers?
It was 17,000 increasing by 3%.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, 17,500, 18,000, somewhere down there
Yeah.
for 3 years. So you're about 6,000 a year difference.
And each trip average is 10 miles,
Yes.
5 miles out, 5 miles back.
The other myth was that the county did not pick up solid waste for 1 or 2 months during the summer, and that is incorrect. We pick it up every week, every month. There are no vacant months where we don't go there. Apparently, according to Dana, there are people that use those the trash bins at the schools just to dump off waste when school's not in session.
You know how many schools we're picking up from?
I believe it's 6. It's back of the contract. Yeah.
I'll make a recommendation, I'll make a motion to go with the plan the county manager put forward.
Okay. Got a motion from Commissioner Ambrose to approve the recommendation. Have a second? Got a second, Commissioner Rowland. Any discussion?
This is a 3-year contract.
Yes, sir.
Hearing no further discussion, I'll call the question. All in favor? Any opposed? Commissioner Evans opposed, with the record show. All right, please interact with the Board of Education, please, County Manager. Next item on the agenda is the alcohol license from Punjabi. Maybe this is Punjabi. Ms. Forker, come to presentation.
Good afternoon. Mr., I call him Lucky. That's what we're talking about. But he is buying Run Creek Convenience Store, which was originally owned by Mr. Rockmore. He's selling it, and the business, as you all know, is already there. It's established. He's just buying it, so this is simply just a change of ownership. He went through all the necessary steps, application-wise, background check, fingerprinting, adding the paper and everything, so he come back clear.
It was advertised in the paper, you put a liquor store in there.
It's just for beer and wine, just for beer and wine.
It's not for liquor.
No, sir.
You disappointed?
No, I just know that his stores all have liquor, and that's why I was curious.
I'm not supposed to have liquor.
But I mean, is it spelled out in this that he can't have liquor?
Well, in our ordinance for Monroe County, you're not supposed to have liquor unless you have a restaurant. 50% of your sales go to food. So if he is doing that, and that is reported to us, then we would definitely have to go out there and investigate that with him. But it should just be beer and wine.
Because every store he's got has liquor.
I mean, they're all in the city, aren't
No, well, they, in Bibb County mainly.
He does own a liquor store in Bibb County on Bass Road.
they? This is just for beer and wine.
This is just
That's
for
all
beer
it's
and
not,
wine.
so.
Just change of ownership for the restaurant. I mean, gas station, excuse me, just
Mr.
for convenience
Rockmore.
store.
So the same thing, Rob.
Yes.
What's the pleasure of the board?
Move it approved.
Motion approved, Commissioner Evans, got a second, Commissioner Rowland, any discussion? Here none, call the question, all in favor? All right, that license is approved, and let Mr. Punjabi know, or Lucky know.
Thank you.
How lucky he is. All right, Next item on the agenda is tab H, Chief Building Inspector Vehicle Purchase. County Manager.
At the last meeting, I was asked to go back to the drawing board, specifically to include Volume Chevrolet and Hutchinson Ford in our request, and that the vehicle should be a 4x4 vehicle. In my memorandum, included in your packet, I have listed the vehicles that we looked at. Brandon Motor, I still threw in the 4x2. Volume Chevrolet has a Silverado 1500 4x4. It is a Chevy Silverado work truck, very plain. Allen Virgil Ford, they bid on a Ford F-150 Police Respond 4x4, as did Brandon Motor. Brandon also has the Ford Ranger 4x4, and Hutchinson bid on Ford Ranger 4x4. The prices are shown, excluding the 4x2. There is a difference of $1,522 between this Chevrolet Silverado and the Ford Ranger 4x4. And since I wrote this memorandum, I received a notification from Brandon on their Ford Ranger that they would reduce their price by $500. So the difference in the Silverado and the Ford Ranger from Brandon is $1,022. From my perspective, and I put this in my memo, quite a difference in the two vehicles. The Ford Ranger 4x4 is a smaller vehicle, gets a little bit better gasoline mileage, but it comes equipped with a series of safety features like blind spot, cross traffic alert system, forward sensing system, lane keeping system, pre-collision assistance, comes with halogen headlights and fog lights. I talked with the recipient of either one of these vehicles, which will be our new Chief Building Inspector, Daniel Brown, and he said, Jim, he said, I'm a Ford man, and that would be my preference. So that is my recommendation tonight to the Board of Commissioners to purchase the Ranger 4x4 from Brandon Motors at a cost of $33,853, which is $1,022 more than the Chevrolet Silverado. Mr. Chairman.
Pleasure of the board.
Question, I went up to Volume today and looked at the truck, that Silverado, and it is a work truck, got the rubber floor and the whole 9 yards, and checked the mileage on it, and a 4x4 typically doesn't get as well mileage, the standard mileage, as a two-wheel truck. I know a couple of people got them. Yours a 4x4, Greg?
My truck is not.
Two-wheel, okay.
Positive traction.
Right, I looked it up, there's